What's up? This is a 2012 Chevy Equinox. This is a V6, and doing this high pressure fuel pump. And let me see. To get to it, got basically just got a cover like that. It's got a 10mm bolt right there. You got a push pin right there. That's a 10mm bolt. That's the push pin right there. Just pop that off. Cover sit right down in there like that. Pull it off. This is a 16mm right here. You just turn it off with a wrench. You got another 16mm right there. Goes in like that. And so I took this 15mm out and took the line, put it up there. That 15mm goes right in the side, in that hole right there, and then move that out the way. Then you got a 10mm right there. You got another 10mm exactly opposite, which I have a wrench on right now. So I got a 1/4-inch drive, a little stubby, turn it like that. It's really hard to get to. It's a deep socket, but you're supposed to take out all of this right here. You got 3 10mm bolts. That's your thermostat housing. Then you got all these hoses, but you can't get to that bolt on the bottom unless you take that out. Supposedly, I'm trying to make this work, but it's, if you just take these 3 bolts out and probably slide it off, it might be easier to get to that. So you might have to do that. Then you got this bolt, and then you got your electrical connector at the bottom. So it's sitting in there like that. This is what we're looking at right here. There's your 2 lines. That's your other 10mm that I'm working on now. Then you got that electrical connector at the bottom. So, but this is a V6 version. Everybody I seen had 4 cylinders and stuff like that. But you, like I said, you're supposed to take out these 3 bolts right here. 1, 2, 3 on the thermostat housing. Slide that off to the side. Maybe take off this pump. Take off this hose, and then you have more room to get to that bottom bolt, which is what we might have to do. So you probably have to transfer this gasket over. It's a metal gasket. It should be reusable. I ended up taking out the 3 bolts to the thermostat housing. And all I did is I took out the bolts and I just kind of slide it over to the side. I was able to get this guy in there. So I'm just gonna transfer this over, put this new one on. You just kind of, I had to use a pry bar to kind of wedge it out. And this right here is kind of stuck in the top. So you got to kind of angle it just to get back on there right. Because this right here is gonna hold it in there. So you just got to kind of slide it in there. Make sure you clean up this surface right here before you put it back on. You want to plug this up first before you screw it on or anything like that. Then I would put in the top bolt first. Don't tighten it all the way, and then put your bottom bolt in, tighten that one all the way, then put the top one on, and then screw your lines in there. But it's a 2012 Equinox. It's a high pressure fuel pump. So to diagnosis, I don't have a fuel pressure tester, but I sprayed gas in the intake right there. Just took off that 8mm, and it cranked up when I sprayed the brake cleaner in there. And you got 2 fuel sources here. Well, it's the fuel source is the tank, but if you turn the key to the on position, you can hear the pump coming on at the tank. And I took this line off and it's coming out, but this right here wasn't making any noise, but it consistently, the motor came on at the tank. So that's why I went ahead and did this one right here. You should be able to reuse that gasket right there. That's a metal one. So we're just gonna put this back in, just like I said, and tighten them 3 bolts up. That's how you replace it right here on that's your high pressure fuel pump right there on the side of the motor. That's a 2012 Equinox V6.